Welcome to our latest blog, and for this short week trip we are in Cornwall. So we're spending 3 days touring around Cornwall, the different sites, Eden Project, the Myneck Theatre, and we're going to St Michael's Mount as well. So follow us and we'll show you all the sites. The Eden Project was constructed in 1994 and hosts a vast range of plants and ecosystems. It was built to allow people to explore the vast ranges of plants and environments across the planet, as well as highlighting how climate change is ruining the world in one of the best ways to remind humankind how to reclaim the earth. We arrived pretty early at 10 AM, and that was like the best time because there wasn't that many people, and you can take videos and photos without having lots of people in the background.
Today we are in Cornwall at the Eden Project, and we came here by car. Took a very long time. Yeah. There's just lots of plants here to see.
The Eden Project is home to one of the world's largest indoor rainforests, and with over 1,000 varieties of plants, there's plenty to see and experience. You can also venture up to the canopy walkways for stunning views from great heights. The rainforest biome is one of the largest and the warmest, and arguably the most popular of the two domes. On our way around, we managed to explore plants from Southeast Asia, West Africa, South America, and the tropics. The temperature inside the rainforest biome ranges from 18 to 35 degrees, so it's important to wear appropriate clothing. Some of the more interesting aspects of this rainforest biome are the fruit trees, as often you see the fruits that you pick up from the supermarket, but you don't always know where it came from and how it grew. As you walk around, you can't help but admire how these plants have grown in this environment over the last 30 years. You may also notice some wildlife that have called this place home as well, that are hidden in the trees, and every now and then you spot them as you walk along the trail. Inside the biome, you discover how the rainforest is supporting us all. At the Weathermaker exhibit, you can shelter from tropical rain and journey into the clouds to find out how the rainforest cools the earth. As we walked along the trail, we traveled past rubber trees and cocoa, and also sugarcane and bananas. You also see a spice market where you can find out how to care for the rainforest and support people who lived in the tropics. The whole journey around the rainforest exhibit took us about an hour, and it was well worth the experience. Just take your time and wander around. Next, we moved on to the Mediterranean biome, where we experienced sights, scents, and stories from the Mediterranean, California, South Africa, and Western Australia. Here you find lots of plants from Western Australia, with some of the oldest and most fertile soils, and see how the plants thrive in them. The center of attention is the grapevine, where they grow 7 varieties of grape in the vineyard surrounding the rites of Dionysus sculpture at the center of the Mediterranean biome. This is another example of how you see the end product in terms of the grapes that you get from the shop and the wine that you drink, but you never see the making process and the growing process of it. Also, we love olive trees, and every now and then you spot some really old examples of olive trees spread across the biome. Other things you can see are herbs and citrus groves, as well as a perfume garden. The best times to visit are around springtime, when all the flowers are in full bloom. The Eden Project is great for adults and kids, and there are a lot of little side projects for kids that they can go and explore and learn new things about the plants and the environment as well. It's all very interactive and all very interesting for them. This Mediterranean biome was a lot smaller than the rainforest biome, so we got around it in about 30 odd minutes. The next day we went to the Mynach Theatre on the coast of Cornwall. We parked at the Portcarno Beach parking area. This was about a 20-minute walk to the Mynach Theatre, so this wasn't the actual Mynach Theatre parking area, but we wanted to park here because we wanted to go to the beach afterwards. The parking area was very tight, all the spaces were really small, and the tripping was awful because all the roads were really small and you're always trying to squeeze through the gaps to get between the cars and the camper vans along the way. This route up gave the best views over the beach and the water, but it's probably not the best idea with older folk, as here it was kind of mild, but once you get towards the end it's very steep and there's a lot of stairs to climb which are uneven. The Mynach Theatre itself was built in the 1920s and is inspired by the wild beauty of the landscape. The Mynach Theatre itself was beautifully kept, all the stones were well preserved, all the plants were very well taken care of, and it was a very idyllic place to take pictures and videos. Luckily for us as well, at this time there was an audition taking place downstairs where they were practicing for the show later on in the evening, which we didn't stay for. Or if you come, remember to bring a sun blocker because there isn't a lot of shade anywhere and you'll be set in the sun for the duration of your stay there. We spent about an hour here and then we headed down to the beach to play for the next couple of hours. This turned out to be a great choice because this was the only day we had great weather. All the other days that we were around was a bit more dull and some had spitting rain. Today we're here at St Michael's Mount in Penzance. We're going to walk across the causeway to visit the island. So we bought tickets to tour the island and the castle at the top of the hill. Afterwards as well, it might be high tide. Right now it's low tide so we can walk across. But afterwards it might be high tide. But we've booked a boat ferry to take us back across, or just in case the tide's too high and we can't actually walk across. Yeah, so yeah, follow us and we'll show you around. St Michael's Mount is an odd mix of a house, religious retreat and a fortified castle. In the Middle Ages it was a pilgrimage centre. Then it was converted first to a fortress and then to a house in the Civil War by the St Alban family. Now is used as one of the most visited tourist attractions in Penzance. You can visit the island on a boat or at low tide via a long causeway from the mainland. You can then follow a steep climb all the way up to the house itself. Luckily for us, we're well aware of the climb ahead and we wore appropriate footwear. We saw a lot of people who were wearing flip-flops and they struggled to get up and down the hill itself. On the slopes of the island, below the castle, there's a terrace garden featuring subtropical plants. We toured the house itself to see how it was used first as the garrison, with the cannons on display and all these little slit holes for guns to poke out of. And then we also saw how it was used as a house for the St Alban family. And then also on site there was an active church where it's still used for seasonal use. It was interesting to walk around the house, but it was a bit too crowded and there's very little ventilation, so it got really hot about halfway through. This kind of spotted a bit as you couldn't take your time to have a look at the different items that were on display, as there were just far too many people and you got really frustrated as the time went on. In saying that, the architecture itself was very grand but not over the top. It wasn't very big, but it looked very historic and everything was well maintained. The glass itself was absolutely stunning when the light hit it. There was also a very transitional style in between each windows that you see. As you reach the top of St Michael's Mount, you can view across the bay along the long walkway and across to the town on the other side as well. Here was a church that was still in current use. This area was a bit more spaced out, and you could feel the drafty breeze circulating through the church. Lastly, we headed through the wooden-cladded residential area of the St. Michael's Mount House, through the tunnels, and back out. So that was the end of our trip, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you haven't already, then click down and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on our next adventure.